Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, Railside Tales, Episode 2, Thomas Struggles Through. It was a busy day on the island of Sodor, especially a busy day for Thomas. He had pulled his AM train, shunted a stone train for Oliver, showed Arthur how to pull coaches, and now he was shunting trucks in the yard. By now he was feeling very tired. Percy and Murdoch noticed this. "Thomas," asked Murdoch, "are you feeling all right?" "Oh, I'm just a little short of steam," said Thomas, "that's all." "But Thomas," said Percy, "you're usually a little cheeky in the mornings. We're just asking why you're not doing it now." "Okay then," said Thomas. "My wheels feel a little squeaky, my funnel feels a little clogged, and my firebox is not making enough steam." "I think you need to be checked over, Thomas," said Murdoch, "and have a good rest." "Don't worry, Murdoch. I can pull lots of heavy trains, no matter how tired I am." Be careful, Thomas," said Murdoch. "You don't want to burst a valve or something." Just then, Sir Topham Hatt walked up. "Thomas and Murdoch," he said, "I need you two to collect some important cars from the docks. They're loaded with important freight for Wellsworth. They're heavy, so be careful." "Yes, sir," said the two engines, and Sir Topham Hatt walked away. "Maybe you should let me take all the freight cars, Thomas," said Murdoch. "Why?" asked Thomas. "For two reasons," said Murdoch. "One, I'm bigger and stronger than you. No offense, none taken," said Thomas. "And two, you need a good rest," said Murdoch. But right before Murdoch could pass across the junction, Thomas crossed onto his line. "Oh dear," said Murdoch, and he puffed off. "Take care of her, Murdoch," said Percy. "Don't you worry, I will," said Murdoch as he raced after Thomas. Soon Thomas and Murdoch arrived at Brendam Docks, where Salty and Porter were shunting their trains. "Ahoy there, me hearties," said Salty. "Your trains are ready to go." "Well, they're almost ready, actually. Porter has to get that brake van coupled up to your train, Thomas." Thomas soon coupled up to his train, and Porter soon got his brake van coupled up behind him. Porter and Salty then got out of the way, and then Murdoch coupled up to his train. "These trains are heavy now," said Porter, "so don't get too big for your buffers," added Salty. "We won't, guys," said Thomas. "Are you sure you can pull all these cars, Thomas?" said Murdoch. "They're a little heavy." "Don't worry, Murdoch," said Thomas. "I can do it," as he puffed slowly out of the docks. He puffed as hard as he could, and Murdoch followed behind him. "We just need to get our trains over Gorton's Hill, and then it's straight to Wellsworth." Gorton's Hill was the steepest hill on the island. It was always very difficult for the engines to climb. Soon Thomas and Murdoch came to the bottom of Gorton's Hill. Thomas gave the hill a great charge, and then rolled back down again. "Do you want a little push, Thomas?" asked Murdoch. "No, thank you, Murdoch," said Thomas. He gave the hill another charge, and then came back to the bottom again. Murdoch was about to buffer up to give Thomas a push, but then Thomas gave the hill one final charge, and this time he brought the whole train over the hill. "I told you I could do it, Murdoch," said Thomas, and he zoomed down the other side. But the train pushed Thomas too fast, so fast that he almost came off the rails at a bend. "Whoa!" cried Thomas. "Thomas, come back!" cried Murdoch, and he chased over the hill and chuffed after him. Thomas and Murdoch steamed through junctions and whizzed round bends. "Thomas, slow down!" called Murdoch. And Thomas applied his brakes, and he was able to slow his train down, thanks to the help from his brake van. And soon they arrived at Wellsworth Station. I told you I could do it," said Thomas, "but now I think I do need a rest." "Yeah," said Murdoch. "That heavy train plus the hill, it was all too much for you or something. So you need to be checked over and have your wheels and funnel looked over." And I think I need to get my firebox cleaned out, said Thomas. I don't think I have enough steam left to get home, so would you mind giving me a little push? Of course I will, said Murdoch. They uncoupled from the trains, and they both shoved back to Tidmouth's sheds together. When Thomas and Murdoch got back to Tidmouth's sheds, Percy, Emily, Edward, Duck, and James were all there. Thank you so much, Murdoch, said Thomas, for helping me getting back here. You're welcome, Thomas, said Murdoch, but next time when you're pulling a heavy load, be sure to not struggle too much and be careful with your speed. Yeah, said Thomas, I was struggling. I denied you for helping me pushing up the hill. And Percy, I also denied you for not getting a rest. It's okay, said Percy. At least you're getting a rest now. And all the engines agreed. Yes, said Thomas. As long as I got my load there, that's all that matters. That's right, said Edward. As long as you got the cargo there, said Duck. That's all that matters all the time. That's a mission accomplished. Or a job accomplished, or something like that. Mission, job, same thing or something. The engines laughed. Yes, said Thomas. And I'll be careful with my speed next time. Yeah, try not to scare me again when you go too fast round the bends, said Murdoch. And all the engines laughed together. Then one by one, they all fell happily asleep.